In today's quick video, let's talk about Shilajit. Let's dive in. Shilajit is a compound that has been used in Ayurvedic medicine for thousands of years. It's often found in areas of Tibet as well. Now, Shilajit is interesting because it's actually an exudate from different mountainous ranges, especially in areas around the Himalayas and other areas in India. The interesting thing about Shilajit is that it's actually a combination of many different compounds due to this breakdown of this organic matter that come from the mountains. Now, Shilajit I have found comes in a couple of different preparations. It generally or traditionally comes as a paste that you take a little bit of and then add it to water, or I also have seen it in capsules as well. From the research I've seen, there seem to be a number of active compounds, one of which is fulvic acid, as well as other types of vitamins and minerals that are present. I'll say from the start that even though this has been used for thousands of years, there is not a lot of research on what the actual components are. There's not a ton of research, especially in humans. There's not a lot of consistency between where you get the product or where the Shilajit is sourced from. So the research is not exactly sure what exactly is contributing to the effects it might have. But some common things show up, especially in animal studies. We have a lot more animal studies than we do human studies, but some of the properties that this compound possesses are being antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, immunomodulating, adaptogenic, anti-dyslipidemic, meaning helping with dyslipidemia or elevated lipids, as well as having effect on testosterone and spermatogenesis in males. A very promising study I did find on this herb is using it for postmenopausal women that have osteopenia or bone loss or changes in their bone density. The women that participated in that study actually saw an increase in their bone mineral density after using the Shilajit for a period of time as compared to placebo and the other interventions that they had in the study. So very promising on that front. And the studies show that they think the effect is coming from the attenuation of the bone cell turnover and also decreasing the inflammation and oxidative stress that often happens when women have a dip in their estrogen due to menopause. Another study that I came across touts the effects of it being used almost as an adaptogen, helping to increase ATP turnover. Now, this study was in mice, but they are hopeful to think that this same mechanism would work in humans as well, which again, this goes back to its traditional use as sort of an adaptogen or something that increases vitality or energy. Another area in which this compound is being researched is for use against dementia, and this one we think may be due to the inclusion of having fulvic acid inside of there. Now, we have seen in some studies that fulvic acid can actually help to prevent the formation of those amyloid beta plaques that are part of the mechanism of something like dementia or Alzheimer's. The anti-inflammatory and the antioxidant effects might also be coming from the fulvic acid as well, because fulvic acid in many studies shows antioxidant-like effects, so scavenging free radicals and preventing the formation of free radicals, and it being anti-inflammatory, helping to reduce the release of things like TNF or tumor necrosis factor. Another use that's often promoted for Shilajit is muscle recovery or reduced muscle fatigue. Again, I did see a study, another one in mice where had the mice swim around, gave them the Shilajit. They had less muscle fatigue and more muscle recovery after taking the supplement versus those mice that didn't in that study. Again, another effect that we're hoping is relatable to humans as well. And again, we think that this muscle recovery effect may be coming from the fulvic acid. Hey there, Editing Jessica here. I forgot to mention that Shilajit has often also been used to help to increase testosterone. This was a randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled study, so kind of our gold standard, in which volunteers took a dose of Shilajit at 250 milligrams twice a day. And what they found was an increase in the total testosterone, free testosterone, and DHEA as compared with placebo. So, according to this study, Shilajit definitely can help to increase testosterone levels. So another one of its traditional uses in being used for people with low testosterone. So this is a very interesting compound. Again, it is being studied now and actually being researched more and more, so we can really understand what the compounds are doing, how they're interacting, and what effects they can have on the human body. Just again, more studies are needed. Because Shilajit has been in use for thousands of years, there are not a lot of safety concerns surrounding it. One would be possible contamination of the compound itself. So depending on what source you're getting it from, make sure you're getting it from a trusted source and a brand that does some quality control checks on there. Side effects that I've seen are, diarrhea, sore throat, and GI upset, which seem to be pretty mild and fairly rare. So because Shilajit is actually newer to me, I don't have a lot of clinical experience with this one, but Given the studies that I've researched, one thing that I would try to use this on with my clients or patients is for women with osteoporosis. So postmenopausal women who have lost their bone mineral density, it might be something that I would add in as part of that type of therapy for helping them to rebuild their bone mineral density. If I'm not using it for bone mineral density, one thing I might recommend is actually just using fulvic acid, and that's available in capsules and liquid as well. And the fulvic acid would probably be something I would add in for muscle stamina. So for people who are getting back into the gym or who are training really hard for that feeling of energy and anti-fatigue like effects. All right, I hope that this video was helpful and that you learned something. If you have any questions or if you've used Shilajit, please go ahead and share your experience in the comments below. I would love to learn more from you guys as well. All right, otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Bye.